What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? I know everyone is having a legendary week. Oh, wasn't it so good to have Niner football back in our lives? Obviously, you know, Jason and I were just talking before the show, and we're both feeling positive. So we're definitely excited to break this one down for y'all. But of course, before we do that, we got to remind everybody to listen to the end of the show to get your special coupon code to save 10% off of all For the Faithful by the Faithful season 2 of apparel, exclusively available at ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop. Like your the faithful t-shirts. Anyway, go ahead and help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and save 10%. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of the video or podcast and save 10%. Go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and promo tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, and follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Niner Faithful R on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
All right, we're back. What's cracking, Jason? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? What is up? Good to be back for another day. Some football. We have a little pregame or a preseason game on Friday. It's good to go.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt like, I was for those who were, watched my very short pregame show I did on Friday, because man, it was retarded getting to the game. But anyway, it was just good walking back in the stadium and feeling back. It just felt like life was back to normal. Thanks for the like, boo boo. But anyway, so as you and I were talking away before the show, you gave it a 8.5 out of 10. I nodded and everything like that. I can't think of anything too bad. Obviously we'll get into Trey. I want to save Trey, save the best for last. But I saw nothing overwhelmingly negative where I'm saying, hey, this is a concern. My concerns with the football team are the post the game, i.e. the Jimmy Ward injury. Let's just start off with that. That's a big one if Jimmy Ward misses some time, because
Well, right now they're only thinking week one, right?
I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but Shanahan has said that week one is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So my thing about this is we've kind of looked at the second half of the schedule, or the first half of the schedule, as the survivable part and everything. And my main takeaway all season, which is the only way I believe that we'll be a playoff team, is not bury ourselves like we did last week. But if we're short in the secondary, and you've got, fine, week one, we'll see about that. And fine, the Seahawks are a joke, but you got Tyler Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Running around, and
yeah, they're gonna get their balls. They're deep balls, and they're probably arguably the best duo for deep balls in the league.
I mean, let's be real. DK Metcalf is the Seahawks' best player now that Russell Wilson's gone.
He
I
was
mean,
arguably their
I
best
don't
player
see
with
it's
the
even close.
last year.
So I was a little dig into the inside the show. I'm trying to make our graphics for our pre and post game and halftime shows and everything like that. And our thumbnails and all that shit. And I did week 1 already, and I'm in the process of doing week 2. And I was trying to think. I'm doing players. Matter of fact, let me. Oh, I don't even have it up. But so I'm coming to week 2, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to use the same player, for the Niners. So I switched it to George Kittle for week 2. Y'all have to tune in to see who's week 1. But then I was thinking, like, okay, who do I put for the Seahawks? Because Russell Wilson's bitch ass is gone. Bobby Wagner's gone. Jamal Adams, I'm sorry, I would have not paid that for Jamal Adams. And
Well, you know who you
then,
could do for the seat if you're doing Kittle for the Niners, do Noah Fant for the Seahawks. He also went to Iowa with Kittle, so you've got a little bit of
yeah, that
coordination there with
actually,
the Iowa thing.
that actually wouldn't be bad. I maybe just do DK for week 2, or the second week. I meant the
Yeah.
second time we play him. That's actually not a bad idea, but that's who I ended up picking because I was like, oh, duh, DK Metcalf. So because I just typed in Seahawks into Google and his image popped up, so I was like, oh, okay,
Big names are pretty hard to find now on that team.
yeah, no. So if Jimmy Ward is missing some time, that's a big concern because the only negative I've gotten to the game is the secondary besides Talanoa Hufanga. We've gave Tavarius Moore a break. I still believe that he deserves to be on an NFL field, but Greg Odom to me is an issue. Because what concerns me about that, and the reason I'm willing to say that right now, is because I thought he looked bad in practice when the three practices I went to, and I thought he looked bad in the game.
Who would you trust more, Odom or Dante Johnson back? Because Dante Johnson can't play safety.
Dante has rib cartilage issue, but I think he should be back for week 1. So honestly, I trust Dante.
Like I said, I would take Dante over Odom right now with the way, everything. I mean, I know, like I said, I know he'll come back before Ward, I think.
Yeah. I would assume so.
But yeah, I would take Dante Johnson out there over Greg Odom.
And I mean, the thing about this concerning, and if you just look at it directly, just week 1, it's just Justin Fields is a mobile quarterback, which the Niners D line has had trouble with. So that's my thing about if we're playing a drop back passer, I don't really care because our D line is going to win more than not. And so I'll put our D line getting home when it matters most, especially since you're going to have, your studs out there week 1. If it was anybody that wasn't a mobile quarterback, I wouldn't be worried because it's not going to be an issue. But Justin Fields got some wheels, and he can extend some plays, and he's got an arm.
There's a reason why he went number 2.
Yeah, so there's definitely a reason. Well, number 2 after Trey, but look, I'll go out and say this. It's been no secret for those who listen to the show frequently. I wanted Justin Fields as the Niner when we traded up to 3. I was team Fields of gold.
Yeah.
My original reaction of me is thank God it wasn't Mac Jones, and fine, okay, let's get excited about Trey Lance, which I'm excited about. But moving on, you asked me this. I never really got your answer because we ran out of time. You asked me this off of air, and then I'll get my answer after. What players you excited for the most?
The one that came off was Womack.
Yeah.
Sammy Womack is the one that more, even with Trey looking good, Danny Gray looking good. To me, Womack's the kind of player like with Ambry Thomas. Ambry Thomas a lot of times was in position to make a play, but he didn't make the play. Womack seems like he's got that kind of skill to where, like, or that instinct, whatever you want to call it, to where he knows how to make the play. So to me, watching him get those interceptions and some of the other stuff he was doing, to me, like I said, to me that was the most hyped person of the entire game.
Darkest Denard got cut because of the game Sammy Womack
Yes,
had.
yeah, yep.
Which by
So
the way,
100
not to cut you off, bro, but I do want to get into the
cuts.
paperwork of things. We did make the initial roster cuts. Darkest Denard, Josh Hokett, Keyshawn Johnson, and I'll let you do the D lineman name, bro.
Kimchi, the guy from the
And then
Cardinals.
the other one, the Lolly or Loli.
Oh, we cut. I didn't. Okay, I haven't had a chance.
Yeah.
It was busy at work. I didn't get to see everybody.
But yeah, that's the other one. So we are basically down to 90. I know there was some hemming and hawing about Josh Hokett being cut. I
Yeah.
think that's strictly because they don't need to see. They know what they
He's
have
going to
in
be on
Josh
practice
Hokett.
squad.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
sign him
going
to
to
practice
basically, it's a chance to get him to say, hey, if you could make another roster, go ahead and do it.
If not, come right
give you
back.
if not, we're going to sign you to the practice squad. And I definitely think that's what's going to happen. And I think Kyle's dream is to keep Josh Hokett around until Juice, leaves, retires, whatever, and then having Josh Hokett replace Juice. I think that's Kyle's wet dream, honestly.
Yeah, because then you have someone, with the fullback, he's already, used to the system. It's plug and play. Maybe not as good as Juice, but definitely go right back, to someone who knows the system.
Hey, and Kyle can scheme around
the
deficiencies of players. I mean, if he could put together a competent offense. Charlie Warner was activated from the PUP list, which is interesting because he might be a player that maybe got it too late of a start to really push for a roster spot. But I think that he has a chance. I know Ross Dwelly's going to make this roster. I just know it. But if somebody else, if Charlie Warner makes the roster, I think it's going to be Ross Dwelly's spot that he takes.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so, that definitely, because I don't remember anything particularly about the tight end standing out on Friday.
No.
So let's see. Activated Charlie Warner from PUP list. Jimmy Ward, a pretty bad hamstring. Hassan Redway is going to apparently come back to practice soon. Brunskill pulled a hamstring.
Brunskill hurt and pretty much steal Brendel getting the starting job, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so too. He's going to be out for a few weeks. McGlinchey with his knee while playing against the Patriots, site irritation in his knee. So he's going to be probably tanked for the rest of. And I believe PUP, was that a PRP? Is that shot?
Say it again.
I believe it's called a PRP. It's what they were trying to give D Ford.
Oh,
that certain type of shot. I believe it's a plasma shot. I believe McGlinchey got one of those, so he was probably going to be shut down for the preseason and come back week 1.
I'm okay with him shutting some of these guys down.
Yeah, I'm fine too. Drake Jackson, it's fine.
He'll be back.
He was back on Sunday. It was just a stinger. Hip him back on Saturday. He'll be good to go when we get to. Okay, so here's Dante Johnson. Left the Packers game in the fourth quarter with injury. Shanahan announced the cornerback will be week to week with rib and cartilage fracture.
Oh, it's fractured?
Yeah, ribs and cartilage fracture. Charvarius Ward suffered a soft tissue injury. Will miss the next week of action at minimum. They're going to shut him down for the preseason. So there's a possibility Eric Armstead could rejoin practice this week. Emmanuel Mosley.
Nope. Keep him shut down.
Yep. No, I'd keep him in practices this week, but I wouldn't play him in games.
Yeah. No, not playing. Definitely not playing.
Mosley, Shanahan hopes to get Mosley back soon, and Elijah Mitchell will miss the next week of Ackerman on minimum. Let's see.
I think that's everybody.
Kalia David, yeah.
And then we got Jason Verrett.
Jason Verrett is probably still a few weeks away.
Yeah. Obviously, Maurice and Matthews are done for the season, so
yeah.
As of right now,
we're all cut up on that's all paperwork. I'm sorry, we usually do that at the beginning of the show. I was just so excited to get into this. Big shout out to Danny Gray. I thought he showed well. He's not threatening to, be a starter or anything like that. But I mean,
with that speed, do you think he pushes Jennings for third? I think you gotta put him on. He's that fast.
Because everything I've heard,
like Jennings, but damn, he is fast.
Everything I've heard is Juwan Jennings has not had a good camp.
No, he hasn't. From everything, same thing I heard, he hasn't. And it doesn't help that Danny Gray is having such a good camp.
And so
he's not just fast. Do you see the ball that he took over the middle on the post?
Yeah. No.
So I mean, he can run other patterns besides just a fly pattern.
And that's because it's a lot of people get this twisted. In the NFL, it's very easy. Or I shouldn't say it's very easy. You can cover somebody with speed. You just go deeper.
Yeah.
It's what makes speedsters dangerous is they can run other routes. So a team plays you off, and now you're open for a slant, or you're open for a curl, or
But that post he ran for that one of the middle, I think it was from Sudfeld. Yeah, nice looking route. So like I said, I really think just as fast.
So I think he's definitely going to push.
He's going to push for a lot more play time because I thought it was going to be Debo Ayuk, then Jennings, then Danny. But I think it might flip-flop right now. Then Ray will be number 5.
Yeah. I mean, Juwan Jennings is going to make the roster just because I believe now he's the only – and that's the thing that one of the – I shouldn't say negative things, but one of the things I'm looking forward to, and we'll have to wait for the third or preseason game to see it, is I'd like to see the starters do some red zone work.
Yeah.
That's one thing we didn't get because besides Juwan Jennings, I don't know who else is going to be this team's red zone receiving threat. I mean, Debo, fine, but so that's to me.
Biggest, isn't
he? Yeah. So to me,
how tall is Willie Snead? Nope, he's 5'11".
Yeah, Debo's taller than that.
Yeah, I thought it was a little.
BA the tallest? Ray the tallest?
No, I'm looking. Ray, he's 5'9".
Jennings is only like, I want to say like 5'11".
BA is 6 even.
6 even. Yeah, I think BA might be the tallest because Debo's not taller than 6.
Malik Turner is 6'2".
That was who caught the touchdown from Purdy, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And then that's pretty much it. So
yeah, so Juwan Jennings is the only one right now that I could see being
he's 6'3". Jennings is 6'3".
6'3". Okay, cool. So
so he's the red zone threat.
So he's the red zone threat, and that's his role. And I don't really see anybody threatening that. I mean, fine, sure, cool, awesome. What now? My player I was most excited about, Danny Womack. I mean, he punked that Packer for the ball, and I mean the second pick is what got me excited the most because that was just sticky. Well, excited in a different way. The first pick was not giving up on a play, which you love to see. The play's not over the place until the whistle was blown. And the second pick to me is what really got me excited. And honestly, I'm not gonna say sealed Denard's fate because I would hope that one play wouldn't make a player make a roster. I would hope that it would have to be more consistency than just one play. But that was sticky coverage. And so that was just okay, you got beat. Well, why were you able and fighting for the ball? Because you got beat. But that was the one that was like, okay, you can cover.
Yeah, you can recover and still make a play.
Yeah, you can cover, make a play, long arms, to snatch the ball.
Denard wasn't having a terrible camp either.
No, he wasn't. I believe
but that just shows you the confidence that they
have.
And that just shows you the confidence they have in Womack right now.
And I believe the team believes that if he's needed, that Denard will be available to bring back. Yeah, I don't think teams are beating down his door to
Thomas
sign him.
And Lenore.
Yeah. So I believe I that's what I think. I think that they're like, look, fine, if we lose him, then which is exciting. And what is the football and salary cap 101? When it's a tie, always choose a younger, cheaper player, especially the drafted player. So because you're gonna have longer contractual control, and cheaper contractual control. My player I was most excited live, or well I'll get into live later on, but the player I'm most excited for after rewatching the game and all that is Spencer Burford. Because I mean he was burying people in the dirt. Go to Brad Graham's Twitter account. And he's been doing quite a few, or matter of fact, go to Niner Faithful Radio's Twitter account because I've retweeted a lot of his stuff. And his clips of Burford throughout the game are just, man, they're definitely enough to get you a football win.
If I can find him.
Yeah, and then bring it up, bro. But yeah, I was just rewatching him, and I was just like, man, it's and I'm sure if you rewatch and watch, and like I said, this was all just plays that Trey were in.
Yeah.
So and fine, it's not Aaron Donald he's going up against and everything like that, but Spencer Burford, I think is a chance to be. I think he might be my rookie to watch, and I know it's going to be difficult to judge. Okay, yeah. So here we go. Which one is this one?
This is with Burford and Banks.
Okay.
I couldn't find one with just Burford.
Go ahead and play it.
Oh. Look at that solid pocket right up the middle.
Solid pocket. I mean, here, you know what? Let me see if I can find it. I'll just pull it up from NFR's page. Profile. Here we go. Okay. Oh, that's big screen. I don't want it big screen. All right, well, we're gonna cut yours off, bruh.
Oh, I did.
And then I'm gonna share a screen. Yeah, share screen. Okay. Am I doing this right? I hope I'm doing this right. Okay. Window, Chrome tab, share. Aha, there we go. I think I did this right now. Y'all gonna have to, okay, yeah, here we go. So let me just play it right here. So tell me 49ers Spencer Burford trained with Trent Williams this offseason without telling me he trained with Trent Williams. Just watch this clip. And this is just one. Just look at that. Just buried him right, punked him. Threw him on the ground, said, get on your ass, boy.
Pushed him down and then knocked his ass over.
Big shout out to Trey for doing that, by the way, though. That's character. What is this? Oh yeah. right here. This is another one he did. Just look at that. Stay down. That's nastiness. That's quality NFL guard. And I don't believe Graham is wrong in saying the Niners have found their starting
guard.
guard for the next 10 years. Now, if Aaron Banks can just be solid, you got Trent for what we said, probably 2 more years.
2 more years at the highest. That's probably is arguably the best.
So left tackle might be something that you want to look into, which you could
We have
say,
younger players to fill those roles.
and you know, you're hoping that the day to develop, because honestly, the Niners aren't going. There's going to be bigger issues with this team than left tackle if we're in the position to go draft a Trent Williams type of talent without trading up. If we're in that draft slot where you're drafting a Trent Williams, you know, premier left tackle in a draft, that's a horrible season. And there's big issues on this team besides left tackle. I mean, you might have issues at quarterback. I don't want to think about that. So, big shout outs. Of course, got to do the T. Talanoa Hufanga. I mean, I've never felt a stadium be more electrified for a hit in a preseason game, probably in my life. That was
it popped on TV.
Yeah, that was definitely that was a tone-setting hit. That's just Ronnie Lott used to call him a woo lick. And you know, because it makes everybody go woo. But that's the type of hit that if you make in the third quarter or first quarter is going to have effects in the fourth quarter. When all of a sudden,
they'll think twice about coming across the middle.
Exactly. And that's about, if you want to see the nastiest hit that you're going to see in modern day football, look up that Talanoa, which obviously if you're watching the show, you've seen it. But that's about the nastiest hit that you're going to see in modern day NFL. Reasons for concern before we get into Trey, because we're probably going to spend a while on Trey. Reasons for concern, Jason? Or I won't say concern, but yeah.
Injuries. That's my biggest thing right now. You know, we've got quite a few people dinged up. You know, so I want to see what this team is like when everybody's available. So right now we've got quite a few big pieces that are out with injuries and stuff like that. So that's my biggest concern going into the rest of the preseason.
And the thing that's concerning the most is that I believe at least the soft tissue injuries have all been after day off. So at least that's what Shanahan said. So that's the thing that's concerning to me, because it's not working players too hard at that point, because it's like, bro, you just came off a day off of rest and relaxation. That's the part that's concerning.
So just bad luck.
I mean, I don't know. And what it is I can't even say it's, oh, well, they need to be in better shape, because one of the things I saw personally with my own eyes, and I've heard from literally everybody that covers this football team, is that nobody works harder than Jimmy Ward. And Jimmy Ward is in phenomenal shape.
I've seen some of his workout videos. Yeah, he was putting in the time.
So it's not a lack of Jimmy Ward being in shape. So it's maybe, I think the only thing that makes sense to me is maybe they're going too hard after the day off. So, but Kyle Shanahan was definitely, you could just see in his body language, he was pissed. He was annoyed. He was like,
well, it's been an issue throughout his entire tenure as coach.
And he's just sitting there like, dude, after a day off, I just lost my fucking starting free safety. And I think that Kyle doesn't say a lot of shit to say shit. I don't think he's playing that if he could get away with it. I do really believe that he would wear Jimmy Ward's jersey. And so, you know, that's gotta be irritating. Because I think that so yeah, that's my main concern, is just like you said, I would like for at least a drive or two to see what this football team could look like. and to get out there and one more positive before we get to Trey. With so much new turnover in the coaching staff, I was really proud that there was no communication issues.
Nope, there didn't seem to be much of an issue when it came to that.
It looked like, to me, and this is what really has me the most exciting, and the number one takeaway is it looked like a football team that's like, this is what it's supposed to look when your organization's stable, when you've had the same regime, you have consistency, you have a program put together. That looked like a well-coached, functional football team. That looked like a football team that was prepared to play a football game on Friday. And that's what excites me the most, is that there was no, oh, it's the first preseason game, work out the rest. No, I didn't feel none of that. So on to Trey. I'm excited. I don't want to overreact. I don't want to sit there and, oh, Trey's going to win MVP and everything's going to be marvelous and everything like that. We saw there's two throws to me that I think Trey would like to have back. That throw to, I want to say it was Ross Dwelly, which I'll give him some credit because that was in the shadows, throwing into the sun. And then that throw to Danny Gray on the sideline, which to me, that's not the most concerning thing to me, because I was telling you before we got on air, Jason, that if that ball is thrown anywhere that Green Bay can pick it, that's a walk-in pick six.
Yeah.
So Trey threw it where only his receiver could catch it. So that, to me, that, and you look at the throw to Ray McCloud, you look at a lot of the short immediate throws that he had throughout this game, which was something he struggled with in camp. He was fine. I didn't feel any your thoughts, Jason, on Trey?
Overall, he looked decent. I'm not gonna go too crazy when it comes to playing in a first preseason game against backups for the most part, but you saw his decision making get better.
Yeah.
You saw him look off receivers, move, go through his progressions, all the stuff that you want to see in a second-year player who's now your starting quarterback. So you want him to see that. He wasn't looking to run first, which has always been one of the things he's done. He's always wanted to look to run first. I forget who he threw it to on the run on a rollout where the pocket collapsed a little bit.
I think you might be talking about Ray McCloud throw.
Was that the one, the Ray that he fumbled?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, you saw him looking downfield. He wasn't looking for just to pick up, 3 or 4 yards with the run. He was looking to get more, looking off defensive backs, trying to get people open. And the fact that he slid, a little bit clunky on the slide for the most part, but the fact, I've seen things that I've talked to his high school and college coaches. They were like, Trey knows how to slide. Never did that when he played for me. So for
he
him,
said that was the first time he ever slid in his life. Even playing baseball, he said he always slid, head first.
Yeah. So especially if we want to keep him around for a while, he's got to learn how to slide. I think the smaller quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, all those guys have been healthy for long periods of time, is because they've learned to not take those hits. Now, as much as he could probably truck a lot of those guys, long term, we want him to slide.
And to me, what also makes me excited about Trey is everything why, even though I wanted Justin Fields, why I was okay with Trey Lance and saying, okay, fine, I could be excited about this, was because of how much we heard he learns and he works. And he looked like a quarterback that improved, that worked this offseason into becoming a better functional quarterback. Yeah. Even his run, that run was like, the whole time he was not looking to run, and then finally was like, look, I got this gaping hole where I could just trot into 8 yards. I'm gonna take it.
And we've also talked about how him coming here was the best for Trey Lance and this team overall. Yeah, Justin Fields doesn't look great right now, but look, that team is utter trash. Trey would be trash on that team.
Yeah,
right now, any quarterback that team is just terrible right now.
Look at Steve Young with
him being able to sit last year learn this play system, learn from Jimmy. You know, even though I know that'll piss off some people saying that, all those little things that he was able to absorb from everybody last year will start paying off.
Well, what did he learn from Jimmy? How about how to be a pro?
Yeah, and that's a bigger thing than most people actually realize.
What it does is look, Love Cap still has his jersey, still have the Time Magazine article, all that. Okay. But the reason Colin Kaepernick, or I shouldn't say the reason, a contributing factor why Colin Kaepernick flamed out, and a contributing factor, even though not the main factor, a contributing factor is that Cap, it was known, Cap treated it as a 9 to 5 job. Cap would clock in and he'd clock out, and that was it. He would go off doing whatever he did. And that's no, especially from your backup, you don't want that. And somebody you're bringing in to bring in learn a new offense. So, learning how to study an NFL playbook, learning what it's like to be a pro, learning how to talk to the media, and you're talking about somebody who learned from Tom Brady, who, yeah, Joe's the greatest quarterback to ever live, but the greatest quarterback in my lifetime that was drafted in my lifetime was Tom Brady. And so, like you said, Jason, you took the words right out of my mouth, bro. We're going to start to see dividends, and it's not going to come right away.
And, little by little. That's the way I want. I don't want them leaps. I want little by little to where he gets just progressively getting better.
Because if you take the leaps, I think it's going to be more less consistent.
Yeah, he'll have fun. You know, if he takes, like I say, if he takes that big dip or big leap, good chance he's going to have a bigger dip and then have to climb himself back up.
Exactly. Consistency. Yeah. And that's all I need. If Trey Lance,
like the team says, brick by brick.
By brick. Yes, exactly. The motto, the t-shirt, everything. If Trey Lance can play like that, I would say 15, 14 out of the 17 weeks in the regular season this week. There's no reason why we can't win 12, 13 games.
No.
I'm not saying that we will, but if we could get a Trey Lance like that, that's functional, that was accurate for the most part, that, lived to play the next down, did not need to do the bomb, saw that the bomb was there and took a shot. But I believe there was a time period that they had run the same play with Ray McCloud. There was a time that they ran a similar play with somebody else, and it wasn't there, and Trey took a check down, or it might have been the sack or something like that. But the fact that he didn't force the ball, especially knowing that I'm telling you, when the starting offense came out on the field and Trey ran and he got under center and everything, there was enough of an ovation that like you could have see fans going like, "Hey, bro, like quiet," like So with that adrenaline and Trey walking in like 22 years old, like I'm the starting quarterback for this NFL team, and not trying to impress the fans and he threw 2 bombs and knowing that all Twitter would blow up and he'd be trending and all that, to just be mature enough to say, hey, I'm going to take the sack and live for another down or whatever. Yeah, that gets me excited because that means that he's already learning from what he did last year and
he's stepping
not going to make rookie mistakes. The rookie mistakes that would prevent the Niners from being a playoff team that Trey could possibly commit this year, those are going to be less. From what it appears after one game, though, it's not going to be as many as we think they're going to be, and that only can contribute to more wins or a higher win.
He's taken that step into leadership, even as some, because we've already got established leaders on this team. But like we've talked about before, you're a quarterback.
Even on offense.
It's the most high-profile position in any sport ever. Yeah. That no matter what, Trey's probably one of the youngest 5 on the team. He's going to be one of the leaders, no matter if he wants to or not. That's just the way that position is looked at. It's forced upon you, no matter what. It's just part of the job. And so far, and I liked how when Danny Gray didn't grab that ball, he went and grabbed it.
That's leadership.
When Brock Purdy threw that touchdown, Trey was the one that that handed it to him. All that kind of stuff I love seeing.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't matter, and it's not saying that Trey Lance is going to be a bust because of that, but it matters because I always go back to Joe and just the how many times you listen to former Niners or even Niner opponents from the 80s just talk about how when Joe would walk in that huddle and he would just have that look in his eye that like the other team knew that there was nothing you could do to stop him. And yeah, that's a lot of that, of course, is talent and skill and time in the offense and all those things that Trey doesn't have. But a lot of that is leadership. A lot of that is, hey, I'm your quarterback, because Bill Walsh used to have to say, when you're trusted with the football, you're an extension of every member of the San Francisco 49ers organization. The players who block for you, the players who cut, the groundskeepers that cut the grass, everybody in this organization you are. There's only two football players. Three. Well, no, two that touch the ball every play. That's the center and the quarterback. That's it. And so you literally the fate of the team is in your hand. Literally every offensive snap. That's a big deal. That's a lot of pressure. That's the defense can ball out. The defense can, give up literally no points, and you give up a safety and we lose. And the defense is looking at you like we literally gave up no points and y'all cost us points, and so that is a big deal that he's going out, because that shows he's got his teammates back. And one of the things that leads back to the 80s, besides, of course, the great players that we had and everything, was how close those teams really were. You saw it when Dwight Clark, was diagnosed with ALS and was in his final days, how many of the players would, former teammates. You saw it Dwight Clark Day when, how many former teammates came out for that game against the Cry Girls. And so there's a lot of correlation. And I'm not saying we're going to win, 5 champions and all that and whatever, but there's a lot of correlation that makes you believe that we're at least on the right track and got a chance. And that's all I ask for. Like, look, I have faith in my team.
How often did this fan base and reporters and everything knock Jimmy over and over and over? But who stood up for him every time? Every single person on this team. And that's what you want. It's that same kind of feeling. No matter, you might be the weakest link, but you're our weakest link. That, so we're going to try and make you better.
The thing I point to the most and what touched me the most, and I think so many people forget, and it frustrates me the most, is go back to what Eric Armstead said after last year when he talked about Jimmy. And I think that reflected how I feel most personally as a faithful, as obviously as we're probably about 2 weeks away from Jimmy Garoppolo no longer being a Niner, is please do not forget where this franchise was in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And
he didn't necessarily lead us to the promised land, but
the hope that we felt.
He led us out of hell.
Exactly. And so a lot of that confidence, that feeling of 2018 and the heartbreak that led when Jimmy tore his ACL and all, like, people don't forget that was because of Jimmy. And I think that people, and fine, of course, he wasn't the savior that we all thought he was and everything like that. But you know what? If he wasn't Jesus, he was damn sure Moses. He
was a close second.
Yeah, he was, or John the Baptist. I mean,
yeah, he played his role, bringing this franchise back to prominence.
Yeah, to where I think we feel pretty confident that I think that you're starting to have some serious questions. If all the excuses are out, it's time to compete. And I think that at least look competitive. There's no way the Niners should be picking in the top 10 this year.
No.
I think
minus another crazy injury bug that goes to the team, no, we shouldn't even be picking in the top 15.
And break it down even more is so let's go through 2017, obviously rebuilding the roster. Literally, they stripped what was it was like 7 players that were on the team in 2017 from 2016, something ridiculous like that. They clearly had a clean house. 2018, realistically, we weren't a playoff team or whatever like that, but we were definitely better than 4-12.
There's a lot of close games that year.
But yeah, exactly. That I think Jimmy could have been the difference in. So maybe you push for a playoff spot or sneak in as a wild card. Okay, but what happened? Jimmy gets hurt, and it was very clear that even beyond Jimmy getting hurt, the rest of the roster wasn't ready to compete. So we might have been fine at quarterback, but the rest of the roster, we didn't have the pass rush necessary. We were missing obviously
we didn't have a Bosa.
Yeah, there was corners that needed to be developed on, and we didn't even look back. We didn't even know that Emmanuel Mosley wasn't even thought about as a starter. It was Ahkello Witherspoon. So then somebody that ain't even is he even in the league anymore?
I think he's playing for the Steelers, but he's like third string or something. Like, he's not that good right now. But yeah,
so,
he was looked upon as being like the next great corner, and he can barely make a team now.
Yeah, so I mean, looking back, Fred Warner in his rookie year
didn't look all that great. I mean, he had times, but
clearly not the linebacker he is today. So Richard Sherman wasn't even healthy. The Niners had 2019 and possibly 2020 circled as the years that we were gonna.
So he is a starter in Pittsburgh.
Oh, he's a starter?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But clearly not the answer.
No.
At corner. So, fine. 2018, roster not quite ready and injuries. 2019, make it to the freaking Super Bowl, and let's be real, there's not a faithful alive that believes that we should have won that Super Bowl. 2020, literally have the most injuries in NFL history, most cap on IR in NFL history. 2021, make it to the NFC Championship game. So what does that tell me about the Lynch and Hand era? That the first 2 years we were clearly developing the roster. And if you go 19, 20, 21, that's two NFC Championship games appearance and a Super Bowl and in between, sandwiched in between those is a year that literally we had more injuries than anybody in NFL history. So when Kyle Shanahan has his football team, the football team we construct and say, hey, this is the team we feel we can compete with, we make it to the NFC Championship game or the fucking Super Bowl. And really, this year, we had a 10-point lead in going into the fourth quarter and a team that we beat 7 times in a row. So I don't really thank you, Jimmy, for being ultimately what you were, a British quarterback that got us, maybe wandered the 40 years in the desert. And now Trey's going to lead us, hopefully, to the promised land.
What do you think about the reports coming out that Jimmy hardly ever studied afterwards and would disappear at times? Do you think there's anything to that, or is that just bullshit coming out now?
I mean, I think the report's coming from 2018.
Yeah.
So tell me about a story about 2021. So, which is also 2019. So let's go back to 2018. That was the year of porn star Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything about that then, right? Since then, right? So probably tells me either he's not doing it or he's keeping a lot quiet. So fine. Are the reports true? Yeah, sure. It wouldn't surprise me. But can we say that maybe Jimmy Garoppolo's matured a little bit since 2018?
You think there's some truth to it?
I do. I think, yeah, and you know why I think there's truth to it too? Because what has Kittle always said? And this is his boy. Let's not get it twisted. Just because it's like this. It's like, look, there's a difference between texting your coworker who you consider a boy or you're cool with, and ignoring the messages from your boss, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna if he's gonna ignore it, like Kittle's come out and made a joke about it, like, oh, Jimmy never answers texts and da 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 da. So if that's his boy, am I very? Do I find it very hard to believe and very shocking that he essentially doesn't text back his boss if he's not texting back his boy? No, I don't.
I haven't seen that quote from Kittle, so I'd have to see that.
Well, no, it was just it's been continuously. He just makes it a joke about it. It was just a big joke that Jimmy's just.
I thought that was just being. I thought it was just him being funny, but
so no, but it's so no, I don't now. I don't think that's a problem. I think people are making a big deal. So what? So Jimmy all of a sudden is a bad quarterback? Did Jimmy all of a sudden a bad teammate?
Yeah.
So what?
I think it's somebody throwing it out there to try and bring that trade value down to zero,
cool,
absolute
awesome.
Zero.
Okay, fine, but okay, that report's true. Fine, it's and
yeah.
Because I think
technically not our problem anymore.
Any character issues from 2018, I think you could excuse for being young, immature, never been the man before. What was 24 years old, 25 years old, fucking porn stars? Like what 25-year-old wouldn't fuck a porn star? Like and okay, now he's 30-something-year-old, more mature. Like. That frustrates me so much about athletes and things like that is I remember getting into a pretty heated debate with my girl's mom one time about Tupac. Right. And I'm basically like not literally, but I believe like not literally, but Tupac essentially was, I believe, was a prophet. Like not literally a prophet, but like there was.
I've always thought he was a
poet. Like it's just there was a lot of things. Like I've studied a lot of Tupac. Mama was a Panther. You listen to a lot of Tupac's. Tupac was very uplifting to women. Oh, he called him bitch, and bro, listen to a lot of his songs. He really talks. And says a man can't create one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. That's basically Pac being pro-abortion, pro-choice, women's right. That's basically what he's saying right there. So, and she was like, oh, well, he was a thug. And I was like, yeah, because he was 25 years old. Imagine Tupac now, 20-something, 30-something years later, when he's 50 or almost 60 years old. Yeah, he's probably a lot mature, probably calmed down a lot, probably not,
Look at Snoop.
Exactly. So I hate it so much because somebody's a celebrity or because they're this, they're just not allowed to go through the normal maturing processes of going from young adult into grown ass man. And sometimes it's even worse because you have things like, if you're poor and you come from the type of thing that at 18 years old, at 16 years old, you had to grow up quick because you had to help take care of your brothers and sisters and you had to go out there and get a job. But maybe somebody who's 21 years old and just handed a $40 million check, man, he didn't have that. And so can Jimmy mature a little bit? And to me, I've never heard that studying was an issue. Like to me, this is a 2018 issue. And I find it hard to believe that he's not like a hard worker or anything funny of the sort that, like you said, all his teammates would have his back as much as they do. So, yeah, is this probably Cleveland to whoever trying to take down the trade value? Sure.
Like I said, it's not our problem anymore.
I don't think so either. Because honestly, I'm not mad that the Niners are holding him up. Like we said last week, you have to hold on to your cards and see. I mean, look, how close was Zach Wilson away from tearing his ACL? I mean,
Sorry, my headset died.
Oh, no. I said, I mean, look, last week, how close was Zach Wilson away from tearing his ACL?
Oh, he was close from what everybody said.
Yeah, so he was real close from what I heard. And so all of a sudden, maybe now I don't think the Jets essentially would because I think the only team that's trading for Jimmy because an injury happened to the quarterback is a contender. and the Jets aren't a contender. So I don't believe that even if Zach Wilson did tear his ACL, I don't believe that.
No, they trade for him because their backup is Flacco.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't
Well, the
think
Browns.
that I essentially think that's the only reason Jimmy's on the team right now is because the Niners and Browns can't come to terms. I believe that that the Niners and Browns are in works with the trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Especially the thing I've always done is like the Browns said they moved away from Mayfield partly because of his maturity and all that. Like, so you went to Deshaun Watson, who is a fucking pervert.
I
And
mean,
I'm not going to take you away from whatever you do behind closed doors, but
to me, we're not going to get too deep into the Deshaun Watson thing, but
yeah,
to me, the worst thing about it is I used to say this with Michael Jackson, and I'm not going to get into whether he did what he was accused of or not. But at the very minimum, there should have been somebody around Michael that said, Michael, you're rich, powerful, and black. You don't need to be having little kids staying in your bed.
well,
right?
There
Well,
was
I
people
think
in Watson's corner going, "Hey, man, we'll facilitate this to you," aka
that of course is the problem because you get around a bunch of yes men and everything and that's the problem. But
you want a friend that's going to smack you upside your head and set you straight.
This is why I told my girl, to me, the problem isn't with whether this happened or not. I told my girl, I was like, this is why I avoid situations. Like I had an ex wanting to get, Starbucks with me the other day. No. It's not about me not being able to control myself and staying faithful to my girl. It's about not putting myself in a situation because what if she says something? Yeah. Now all of a sudden we're created a situation for something I didn't even need to do. So yeah, if there wasn't a camera in my office at my job, I would not go into the office alone with a female coworker because I'm not putting myself in that position. So why would you take yourself away from the team facility and the team masseuses and massage therapists and all that and expose yourself to this type of shit? But also, I believe the bigger
he does not have good friends around him.
And the bigger issue, and we'll get it after all this, is not with Deshaun Watson. The issue was with Houston holding on to this information. Oh, now all of a sudden, all this information. Oh, after you demanded a trade. While he was your starting quarterback taking you out of the playoffs, everything was all good. So don't come at me now that Houston all of a sudden is some clean organization.
Oh, no, they're shit right now.
Yeah, come on, bro. And I'll state this, say whatever you want about the Niners, about Jed York, is I promise that if this had happened on the Niners, whoever it was would no longer be on the San Francisco 49ers.
I would sure as hell hope so, because that's just some shit you don't want in your organization, because that just leads to so many other problems.
And I believe that after, and we can say that with the fact, because I promise you put a gun to your head, John Lynch would give one of his fingers to have been able to keep Reuben Foster on this team.
Yeah, he tried.
He really wanted to. He really, really, really wanted to. And so, yeah. So, before we get out of here and everything like that, final thoughts, Jason?
Good first week for the first preseason game. Definitely looked good for the most part.
Yep.
Got stuff to work on, but other than the injuries kind of issues that seems to plague this team for the last 5-6 years, everything seems to be, trending in the right direction. So, we won't see a whole lot going into week 2 because it's going to be second and third, fourth string for the most part.
Yeah.
So we'll see more in week 3 of the preseason. But for this week, it's just kind of let's just make it through and see what happens. I'm more interested in the actual joint practices than the actual game itself.
That's what I'm really, really interested in, because because I ultimately think we should kick the shit out of Minnesota.
We should.
I think that the feeling going away from these practices should be like, yeah, the Niners won these practices.
Yeah, we should be clearly the better team.
Yeah, and so I'm really curious to see, like, okay, cool. We came out, we looked good, you know, but a championship ain't won in week 1 of the preseason. Do it again, because that's what it's going to take this year. It's going to be consistently winning. So go ahead, awesome, love it. I can't think of a better way to start week 1. I was gonna do this off air, but I'll go ahead and make it. So we'll see about doing halftime and all that type of stuff. But Jamie will be joining us back. Yeah,
Thanks for the heads up on that announcement.
Yeah. Well, it kind of just got worked out literally like a few minutes before I came back on the show. She hit me up
You still could have warned a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, no, she literally hit me up on nowhere on Friday and was like, "Hey, what's up? Just wanted to check in. How's everything going?" I was like, "Yeah, good." I was like, "Yeah, love." Pretty much it was decided, "Oh, I'll talk to you later. I'm at the game and shit was crazy." And this weekend was crazy. And then so I was like, she was like, "Yeah, so what about joining back?" And I was like,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of weird how it happened. But yeah, so Jamie will be joining us back. Would assume by week 1. That's why I was having Brian message me. I'm trying to set up a meeting with the 3 of us to link their time on when we can do it, because that's one of the things I want to get with these graphics. Join us an hour after the game. Join us, 2 hours after the game. And kind of keep it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm down for
I'm not going to ask
games. It's just late games.
Yeah.
I get up so early in the morning. It's like,
we can keep it the way it is, but I'm never going to ask anybody to have exact time. That's just too crazy, especially with halftime and post game.
Oh, halftime's easy. It's halftime. Just.
Well, no, I'm talking about having an exact time. We go on at 1:25.
Oh yeah.
Or 2:25. Join us at halftime. It's very simple for halftime. Join us an hour after the game. Join us an hour before kickoff. Those type of things. But yeah, so we're working on that.
That's good to hear. That's fucking awesome. I'm glad that she's coming back.
Yeah, I'm actually was pretty excited about that too. So she'll be joining us for post game. We'll see if she'll join us in any other roles, at least for the end of the season, and then we'll discuss that. But we'll definitely get Jamie back on by week 1. If not, then we got some issues. But we'll get Jamie back on in week 1. Jason, final thoughts?
I gave them already.
Oh yeah, my bad. All right, bro. So we'll catch y'all next week. See you later, my man.
Peace, love, and hair grease.
All right, bro. All right, y'all. So I appreciate everybody tuning in this week. Before we get out of here, of course, we have to say thank you for tuning in to the end of the show. As promised, this week's discount code for 10% off of all For the Faithful by the Faithful Season 2 apparel is Season 2. 10% excludes any on-sale items and cannot be used with any coupon code. Code expires August 30th, 2022. Help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our Shop 49ers affiliate link and save 10%. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of the video or podcast and help us out. Go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, and follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr, and at Niner Faithful R on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, we shall see y'all next Tuesday. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
See ya.